Van is gonna hit the guardrail, so that's gonna be another huge loss for him. Sting is gonna be really close here.
Hello, 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 everyone. We are here with the Revo Endurance Championship. Yes, shout out to Duck, who made that intro. I think G might have helped. I kind of forgot about it. And that sounds bad, but there's so many things I'm trying to do behind the scenes that kind of slipped my mind. I'm so glad that it was brought back to my attention. Huge shout out to Duck. Such a well done intro. We are here. Season 4 of the Revo Endurance Championship, playing at Schools Out 2 today. And I do apologize, when we go to the standings, we're going to have an old version of those standings. Let me get that updated for us. Okay. Huge shout out to Kiki, doing the art for us each week with the Revolt Endurance Championship. This week is Schools Out 2. Headed from last week at Urban Sprint 1, which was a surprisingly interesting track, because usually Urban Sprint 1 is not that spicy. I will say, when I saw it was on the list, I was like, okay. It was a very spicy track last week. I recommend checking out the VOD if you missed it. We had Sting for the second week in a row winning the RVEC, and if you're not familiar, winning tracks on the RVEC. And if you're not familiar with the history of the RVEC, that might not seem like a big thing to you, but for 2, maybe 3 seasons, only Famous and Frost have won races here at the Revo Endurance Championship. So Sting has entered a prestigious community of RVEC round winners. He's done so twice now. Didn't manage to get a best lap this time around. On White Rose Chapel, he also got the best lap in the game, getting him an extra 3 points. That's why he has 28 points for RWC. We've got Urban Sprint 1 last week, like we said, and Kiki, looked like Kiki might win, but unfortunately some wrecks there at the very end, if I remember correctly, and just wasn't quite able to finish the deal. But this is the 4th week of Kiki getting second best lap in the game, and 5th week of getting one of the top 3 best laps. So every single week except for that first week on Supermarket 1, Kiki has gotten best lap, a top best lap. So that's really huge, and we will see if he is able to continue that and maybe able to add consistency to it, because he's got consistency as well. We see he got second place, got third place, or I think that was 4th place there on White Rose Chapel, Castle 2, even Game Room 2. That's right, all those weeks ago got 21 points from Game Room 2 with the second place. So Kiki's not doing bad by any means, currently sitting in 3rd. I do need to probably hop into the lobby here, kind of taking my time, but I'm joining up right now. And we've got 7 racers in here today. Frost, Nick, Famous, Kiki, G-Force, Makakowski, and Powerade. Now, while we wait, we should be hopping into our first qualifiers shortly. Sometimes near the beginning of our series at the RVEC, we had 2 qualifiers. But right now, the herd has been culled. We only need 1 qualifier to determine who's going to be starting our race. While we have a second, I can show the driver of the day. Congratulations to Kiki, winning that almost unanimously. 2 people giving a vote to Laggy Rock, a couple people perhaps voting for themselves. Not to suggest any of you did, but I think G-Force said that he was voting for himself, so that's what I was alluding to there, just to be clear. But Kiki, with that second place in Urban Sprint 1, also the second best lap. Not too hard to imagine why Kiki would be getting driver of the day, and I agree with the choice. All right, so we should be hopping in shortly. I think the drivers right now are discussing what to do as far as the qualifier goes. We usually have a 5-minute qualifier. Whoever gets the best lap within those 5 minutes will be starting the race. And whoever has the worst lap will be in the caboose. This week's a little bit different because Schools Out 2 is such a long track. We're only doing 25 laps of Schools Out 2. So we might need more than 5 minutes to give drivers a chance to do more than just 1 or 2 laps. So I think they're currently discussing 7 or 8 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. Shout out to Duck. Cheers to Duck in the channel. Showed that classic video. Thank you so much for that. And we're also going to be hopefully able to show distances between drivers. So that's something that if you've been here for previous RVECs, you might remember that we had an app, we'll call it, that allowed us to see the distances between drivers. But I think it was like Linux only, etc., etc. So Duck and Nick also, I think. I haven't had a chance to thank Nick, but Duck mentioned that Nick working on this as well. So thank y'all for figuring out how to make it happen for me. So we'll see if it works or not, but it should. I've got everything pulled up right now. Hopefully we'll be running smoothly. I'm kind of... Oh, that's right. I don't have to run Erzu's program, so that's perfect. Okay. So once again, shout out to Kiki for driver of the day. And don't forget, that was actually just a reminder for me to fill out the straw poll for the driver of the day poll that will be happening after this race today. So be sure to be thinking about who you want to give driver of the day to for this week here on Schools Out 2. Now, we have been saying you can't give the best racer driver of the day, but I've seen, I said, just let me know if you think that's stupid. But I have seen a couple people say that's stupid. So we can change it. It's no big deal either way. We can have a poll for it if y'all want. No big deal for me either way. I just thought it would be... I thought it would make sense to do it that way. So however we want to do it as a community is fine with me. And I've also got a bit of an announcement. Yeah, sure. We can... because I remember I discussed this with you, Kiki, and we both pretty much were in agreement that it could go either way. So I'm definitely in favor of including especially now that we have fewer racers. There's even more reason to allow the winner to also be driver of the day. Kind of trying to focus on two things at once as I fill out the straw poll. I'm also trying to see when we hop into the race. In the meantime, Lampert, Ertzu, and Lagirock have all made their way in. And some other news is we do have a Revolt Endurance Championship website. It's a new development. I have a friend who likes to develop websites, so shout out to Syrup King. He's put something together for us. It's got kind of like an info page for people who are new to the RVC, and you've also got the leaderboard tab, which shows not just the overall standings, but you can also click on, for example, Supermarket 1 and get more detailed race information. So it's a pretty cool website. I'll definitely be sharing it, but I did just want to mention that. For the moment, let's go ahead and hop into the main screen. $11 racers for today, and that's actually a really good number. It's kind of a sweet spot. You don't want to have too many, because if you have too many, there starts to be, collisions, lap traffic, etc., etc. So 11 is a good number. We can also do channel points betting before the race starts. So be sure, if you're the type that likes to do that sort of thing, be sure to be around in the break during the qualifier, after the qualifier is over. I'll do a prediction for a few minutes. Leave it open. Hey, kilobars, they'll get refunded anyways, so it's really no big deal. The person that everyone least expects is who will win. BGM, welcome in. Not racing today, are we? Stingox wins today. Okay. Stingox with a 3 in a row. Okay. We actually had Famous not show up last week, but keeping the best 7 out of 10 tracks, not a problem for Famous. Indeed, indeed. Kippy, Rog, welcome in, y'all. So we do have the qualifiers going. I think my game's muted for some reason. I'm trying to get that figured out right now. Okay, how are we mixed, y'all? Do we like the mix? I can turn it up a little bit. Let's bump it up a little bit. I think we're good. So if you are new to the RVC, which it looks like a lot of familiar faces, so probably not too many, but we're currently doing a qualifier round. It's nothing too major, just everyone trying to set a best lap. So it is okay if they wreck, but it's especially bad on a track like Schools Out 2, because as you can see, they've been racing for about 1 minute and 10 seconds, 1 minute and 20 seconds on this lap alone, and there is no finish line in sight. So if you do mess up early on, it kind of stings. And also, I wasn't checking at the chat to see what their final decision was. We might be going with 5 minutes, we might be going with 8 minutes, still 5 minutes. Okay, so it is just going to be a 5-minute qualifying, which means racers will have like 2-3 laps at best. I think that might explain why so many people were anxious to start, is because, for example, this best lap 146, it doesn't leave you a ton of wiggle room. Well, maybe they'll be able to do 4 laps. We'll have to wait and see. 3 laps, I agree. Yeah. Yeah, 4 laps probably not going to be possible. Okay. Had the camera on Frost. Not really in a rush to change that. He's been doing well on this lap. Can kind of just see how he does. We do see that the nameplate behind him changing, though. It was like Kiki, now it's Laggy Rock, so we can assume there have been wrecks. He was near Nick and Lampert, I guess they've both wrecked. I'm surprised to see you say that, Kilobaris, because I thought Laggy Rock in specific had issues with his FPS on this track. As we check the best laps, most people starting their last attempt at a best lap. Laggy Rock not getting off to a great beginning to his last attempt. Kiki with a 48, G-Force 46.68, 45.6 for Famous. Nick not doing too great, 46 for Sting, 49 for Makakowski, 47 for Powerade, 47 for Lampert, 46 for Ertzu. And Laggy Rock is done. Can't blame him. Ertzu. Trouble in paradise there. Has a 46, but doesn't have much chance to get it better. Famous is just going to sit on that 45. Seems like he had a wreck. Yeah, I'll definitely make the prediction long enough this time. Don't worry about that. Although the issue is, I think we have over 11 people, so there's going to have to be one person who, or I'm sorry, over 10 people. I think we have 11, so there's going to have to be one person who doesn't get included in it. Based on starting grid, I like that. So our worst best lap right now is Nick. But Nick has a good chance right here to set the record straight. What is 9 plus other? What does that mean? All right, so 45 for Nick. That's definitely going to change. 46.9 for Makakowski. 45.8 and 45.7. We got Air2 not going to get a new best lap. So the worst best lap is at 47 for Power 8. I do believe. Exclude FUMUS. Oh, yeah, but 9 people plus someone else, I don't understand. I don't understand. What is the difference between saying 10 people or saying 9 people plus someone else? I don't know what's going on there. But we're setting up the prediction either way. Oh, you mean literally typing someone? Okay, I was thinking when you said someone else, you're like, and just like pick someone at random, maybe out of the 2. I was like, okay, but why would we do that? But just saying someone else, that makes sense. Okay, we can definitely do that. Okay, yeah, my bad on that. That does make sense. So we had Laggy Rock with the 47.142, 47.160. So I guess Lampert and Power 8 will be our 2 someone else's. So we got Frost, Nick, Famous, Kiki, GeForce, Makakowski. Power 8 is part of someone else. Lampert is part of someone else. Air2, Laggy Rock, Stingox. Who was number 10? B. Did B race? Did B race? Oh, 9 is someone else. Okay, 10 is someone else. I'm stupid. So someone else includes B. Power 8. Lampert. Someone else. It'll just be someone else. Okay. So I'm gonna give that a 5-minute. Okay, hopefully we will have the whole 5 minutes. It seemed like we were pretty quick to get in. The chart is already updated. I'm not sure if Kiki is going to send me. Usually Kiki sends me the qualification results. Excellent, excellent. Oh no, Doc. Kiki sends me something much nicer. Let's go back here. Okay, there we go. So for Schools Out 2, the qualification results. Pretty decent margins, but you have to keep in mind the track is very long. It's like double most other tracks, right? So you can basically cut those gaps in half compared to what they would be on a normal size track. But yeah, you're exactly right, Zyno. The gap is very small, even for a track of this length. So it is going to be G-Force, Famous, and Sting starting us off in the top three. Nick, Frost, and Air 2. And then Kiki, Makakowski, Laggy Rock, Lampert, Powerade, and B in last. Stingox says, "You want mayhem, G?" Wow. Okay. The claws are out. You know when Stingox goes in and asks somebody if they want mayhem. It is it's an intense lobby. Okay, we do have just a second before we hop in. The qualifications have been done, so go ahead and get yourself locked in for a 25 lap race. 1 minute 46 per lap on average is going to be crazy, so make sure you're ready. It's going to be a doozy. Predictions are coming to a close. I didn't click the... Let's see. Okay, Famous got 1.5 thousand points on him. And G-Force got 1,300. Sting got 2,700. Everybody else, nothing. Nothing. I put it on for 5 minutes. I should have said something more though. I noticed too late. Sorry, Zyno. Okay, in the meantime, I'll be doing the driver of the day poll, but we'll be hopping in shortly, y'all. Okay, so we are hopping straight in. Everybody's going to be backing up. I'm waiting for Frost to give the word first. Waiting for honk signal. No, you're supposed to say ready first. No? Or what? Are we changing the rules now? Okay, okay. Thank you for that. And we are go. I don't know what happened with BGM's skin. Apologies to BGM. I updated your skin in the pack and it worked in the RVRL, and then it's broken again for RVEC. So I'm not sure why you're on the blue and yellow, but it is what it is. Of course, the racers got into their driving position based on their best lap time, and so they are going to mostly stay in a line. But I spoke a little bit too soon because Nick gets a smooth pass on the inside there over Sting right into the freezer section. He holds onto it through a very tricky technical area right here. Drop down into the sewers. Shout out to Kilobaris. Saying something about Stingox. Okay, G-Force, a moment's struggle on one of those half pipes, or quarter pipes rather. It's all the time that Famous needed to jet ahead. Okay. Oh, watch out for that basketball. Okay, now we're going to see their drop down here because this is another very important part of the track. G-Force trying to take that inside route. And it continues to be Famous and G-Force finishing our first lap. Nick, actually no sub 45s yet. Famous was pretty close. We got Nick in third, Sting fourth, Ertzu fifth, Powerade, Makakowski, and Lampert in sixth, seventh, eighth. A Laggy Rock nearby. And you know what, Duck? How could I have forgotten? Let's show the surprise. I didn't keep it a surprise, but maybe you all forgot. So I'm calling it a surprise anyways. Lampert, let's have a wreck, and we got Frost all the way back in 12th. Oh my! Not the best start for Frostbitten. Okay, let's give it a go. No. I know exactly what to do. Not quite. Let's give it another go here. Boom! Boom! Check it out. Okay, the scores, the distances, the gaps, and now how often is it updating? I'm not entirely sure, but it might just be showing snapshots. I'm not really sure what's going on with it right now, but we can hold on to it for later. You saw a sneak peek of it. Famous and Nick battling it out. We certainly should not be missing this because G-Force has fallen out of that duel with Famous in the meantime, but Nick has stepped in to join his place. Let's not say it doesn't work, okay? Let's use a different framework to approach this problem. In the meantime, Nick has fallen out of that duel with Famous for first. One minor misstep is all it took, but Famous gives it back. Yeah, it is meant to be frozen like that. It is a JPEG style live updater. We like to stay true to the original JPEG styling, so G-Force holding on. Still staying near first. Sting is in the mix as well. No one has really fallen out of this group of four. We can definitely try, Kippy. In the meantime, looking back just a little bit. We got Ertzu, we got Makikoski, Powerade, Lampert, Laggy Rock, Kiki, Frost. Frost managing to move up a couple positions after his disaster. Laggy Rock. I think we had Kippy. Kippy was cheering for Laggy Rock. Not to single you out, Kippy, but that's your man right there. Okay. So it is interesting to see how the midfield is going on, but rather not spend too much time on it, especially when the battle for first, second, third is still on. Nick, in contention for podium, is about 40 meters back. Famous has been showing signs of weakness as far as consistency goes. He definitely seems to have the pace, but not quite getting that consistency nailed down here on Schools Out 2. Frost was actually 5th place starting the race. He got the 5th best lap time there. It was G-Force, Famous, Sting, and Nick. So it is currently G-Force, Famous, Stingox, and Nick still. Yeah, I will definitely do that. I am kind of confused because it actually was working perfectly during the single player. So we will get it sorted out. Some tricky portions of the track here for sure, though. So I will be giving it just a second. But once this fight gets broken up, that's the first thing I'm going to do. Millionaires can enjoy penny slots too, Kilobaris, okay? Weirdo. Weird millionaires. Famous G and Sting. These thieves seem to have reached stasis, but that's sometimes when it's the most dangerous. We saw Famous going for, I think that was just one chair that he skipped, whereas Sting and G-Force going for the double skip. Nick maintaining about 45 meters, 50 meters there. Oh, okay. Crack showing a little bit there for Stingox. Now keep in mind, Stingox has won 2 of the past races in the RVC in a row. He has dethroned Famous and beaten him once again. Of course, Famous lost because he didn't load into the lobby, but he did lose nonetheless, regardless of his connection to the lobby or not. Indeed, so he's on a 2-win streak, but here on Schools Out 2, not quite finding the lines that he needs, especially in that upslope turn to start off the lap. threw him off a little bit there. Famous and G, in the meantime, 10, 12 meters apart. Fam did not race last week, indeed. Oh, looking a bit wide there, but G-Force seemed to match it. We do see that be a consistent difference between their two lines. Of course, there are other differences too, but that one is glaringly obvious because one goes on one side and the other goes on the other. Just a little head start from Stingox. Famous slowing down quite a lot before the turn, and G-Force seems like he took advantage of that. So Sting is now about the position that Nick was in, so I'm curious to see if he's going to be dueling Nick or if Nick also had Rex. So he has fallen back a little bit. It is closer than he was when before Sting wrecked, obviously, but okay, and they continue. Alright, check your DMs there, Duck. Continues to be Famous and G. And there is a little bit of breathing room there for Famous, so I'll go ahead and check out a little bit backfield after this specific part in the track. G-Force on the inside like he usually is, but he's got a little bit of a bump there in the grass and then loses a little bit of traction in the grass, so it's hard to say exactly. Yeah, it's the updated version, but I could use the older one. And Nick seems to have fallen out of contention for that podium, at least for now. It's going to take some mistakes. He's up to about 100 meters behind. Powerade has actually been rising in the rankings. I think Powerade had one of the worst best laps to start us off, and he's currently in 5th. So huge shout out to Powerade. Kiki has not been able to do any noticeable movement here, which usually Kiki is up there in that fighting for that podium. So we'll see what Kiki is able to do with the rest of this race. Got a whole lot of laps left to go. Ertzu nearby somewhat. He's locked in with Lampert and Makakowski and Laggy Rock, and Frostbitten still out there in 11th. Moving back towards the front, we've got the battle for first still locked in. Famous and G, no, they're not in the same folder. The old ones were deleted, and then the new ones were moved into the folder. Yeah, I misinterpreted. I can give it a go with the old ones, unless you don't think that'll work. Hopping back into the action though, Famous has made a good amount of room between the two. We got Sting out in 3rd, Nick in 4th. Kiki is now the one challenging Nick for that 4th place position. You might have heard what we were saying about him. Okay. BGM headed to lunch. Yeah, I think we'll have to give it a go for the next week. I tried the old version, but still freezing. Kiki having to flip his car, though. And this become more of a three-way battle for 4th place. G still keeping it close to Sting. So, I'm sorry, keeping it close to Famous. So let's see how that continues to play out. Whoa. Trying a different view here. I think we get some good shots outside with the scenic view. Yeah, the inside not really as good. I think if I press it twice, then it stops showing frames like that, which is nice. We'll give it another go once we get outside. Checking really quick though. Oh, Kiki has drastically fallen out of the battle with Nick. And now it's Kiki and Power 8 locked in for 5th, 6th. Kiki is one of our overall power players. So we'll definitely have to stay continued looking over at Kiki. I'm also interested if 5th, 6th will be a good finish for Power 8. I think it should probably be a middle of the road finish for Power 8 here in the RVC. Power 8 is I think in 2nd place in the RVRL after yesterday, but was previously 1st for a few weeks. So, and that's in Division 1. So Power 8 is definitely a very strong Revolt racer. Not necessarily one of these endurance specialists as much. But as a really good and invested Revolt racer, I expect him to, be in the middle of the pack. He shows up for a lot of the races in the RVC. I think he might have shown up for all of them so far. Let's check out the scores. Oh, okay. Oh my. Interesting. I thought it was one thing, and then it was another. Yeah, it was another thing entirely. I'm curious what they're doing. And G-Force finds the overtake, and they're quite close to Sting. Of course, they're at that tricky part of the track, so we are going to see Sting's gap widen back up there. But still, G-Force overtaking Famous, switching up the board a little bit. Thank you for the follow, Sager. Predictions coming out of Kila. Who did you put your channel points on, Kila? And with the 9 point, who's the 9 prediction? You Sting, right? I think it was Sting. You don't have to reveal it. You don't have to reveal it. It can be a secret. Okay, checking a bit backfield, 100-meter gap between Nick and Sting. So those divisions starting to show. Kiki dueling it out with Power 8 now. So Power 8 moving up along in the ranks, and with the big dive bomb out of Power 8, he's going to be moving on into 5th. Now, Kiki and Power 8 were fighting for 5th, 6th earlier, so I do take that back. But in the meantime, Frost is moving up in the rankings as well. Has passed up Lampert, Makakowski, maybe even Laggy Rock as well. And he's trying to pass up Ertzu here to snag 7th. I look, you may enjoy revealing who people bet for gamer, but that's not my thing. Powerade. And Nick. Whoa. Okay. Oh my. All three of them. I mean, it's back to back to back. All three of them having the banana peel moment. They don't know what's going on. They have the octopus came down and inked on their screen. And Frost is like going from 11th place potentially all the way to 4th here. If he can catch the three stooges here, Powerade, Nick, and Kiki just slip sliding around through all through the town. Kiki's like, no, school's not out yet, bro. Wait, hold on, school's not out yet. I gotta get my backpack. Hold on, wait, guys. Hold on. Wow. What a sideshow event that was. In the meantime, Famous and G-Force fighting for first. G-Force is looking strong too, I will say. G-Force, I guess, got passed up by Famous now. The beach episode. On the beach episode of the RVEC, G-Force wrecks. He wrecks again. Stingox passes. Oh my god. Okay, so Famous is gonna say thank you very much. I appreciate that. And he's gonna be sitting very pretty. It's a nice little 60-meter advantage. Don't question it, Duck. God. Oh. Yes, school's out, but they want a vacation back in the school. Frost is passed out. Frost is in 7th. He's past Ertzu, like we mentioned. He's also hunting down Kiki and Nick. And Powerade has managed to escape that this group of 3. He's now making his own destiny out in 4th place. But Frost is hunting them down still. We'll have to continue staying locked in on that. And yeah, G-Force quite a ways ahead of Sting, but quite a ways behind Famous. So close, yet so far. Okay. Yes, Nick did indeed fail as well. Powerade was able to pass up Nick. Nick was 4th place from the qualifier, and we originally had all 4 of them in a row for such a long time. But Nick did have a pretty major wreck. Compounded issue. Oh, whoa. Kiki. Look at that camera angle, y'all. That's the custom Schools Out camera angle that they made for this track. Putting that on display for y'all. But in the meantime, Kiki falling, not just falling behind Ertzu and Frost, but falling a pretty ways behind. The wheels falling off entirely. And this is not how I expected this track to go. I do know this is a tricky track, but I didn't expect it to be this tricky. I'm kind of at a loss now for who to watch. I guess this G-Force Sting and Famous affair has been going on for a long time. So that will probably continue to go on. We can watch some of this further back field stuff, as Frost also seems to have lost the advantage that he had. Lest we forget, Frost was sitting in about 5th place a little while ago, right? He had passed up Ertzu. He was challenging Nick. He was challenging someone else, Kiki at the time. So he still has passed Kiki up, but Ertzu has managed to pass up Frost. Frost is trying to take it back, and then he's got one more left to hunt down before he can take back fifth. Ooh, 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 ooh. Just an uncharacteristic out of the blue error there. Getting caught in the playground section. The pressure is on. Guess what, y'all? We're way past halfway through this track. Has time flown by or what? We've got like 10 laps left for a lot of these racers. Now that's insane to me. I cannot believe that we're already this far past halfway. Now in the meantime, Famous and G, very characteristic cast occurs. A VCCC? Yeah, I love getting people with the VCCCs. So we have Famous and G in the meantime. G doing the undoable, which is catching Famous when he's got a lead. It seems like that sort of thing just does not happen. At least it hasn't happened in the RVEC very often. But G-Force has been able to get pretty decently close to Famous. He can see him, at least. Now, Duck hypothesizes that Fam messed up as well. I would agree. I think that's probably what happened, but it's definitely giving G-Force an opportunity here. Indeed, indeed. And you might notice if you've been looking at the bottom left, that Sting is quite close as well. He's been able to keep it. And this is something that I find that Sting does very well. He's just that sort of guy who's always there in your rearview mirror. You know what I mean? He's just, he's not wrecking, he's not tilting, he's not panicking. He might not be as fast, but he's right there in the rearview mirror. And when you mess up one time, he's gonna come for what he came for, which is a position specifically. Nick and Powerade. We talked about Powerade trying to break away from the pack, but it looks like one mistake is all it takes for Nick to swoop back into fourth place, which he was originally in a ways back. Oops, sorry. We got Ertzu and Frost side by side, along with Kiki behind. Ooh, tough to know who to watch here, because I know y'all are thinking about that battle for first that's still heating up. And then I think there's another battle, Nick and Powerade, which is super hot as well. But let's see this drop down, see how they handle it, see who emerges victorious out of it. Oh, Ertzu going on the outside. It is easy to wreck when you go for that. And my, Kiki going on the outside, the obvious loser out of that situation. But Frost not able to make any noticeable gain there either. Nick holding tighter to fourth place, and G-Force and Famous continuing their brawl for first place. It is a bit of a long distance brawl that could be greatly accentuated with the use of pickups, but that's not the purpose here at the Revo Endurance Championship. We're not doing pickups races. It's all about speed, precision, accuracy. And speaking of accuracy, was that a bit of a slip from Famous? It looked very momentary, very transient. But it might have been a little bit of a slip there on the landing. We flip back into Kiki versus Frost versus Ertzu, and now it is Kiki leading. Yes, indeed. I won't say that because I'll get copywritten. He'll come to my house, challenge me to a 1v1, and I'm just not mentally prepared for that. Y'all are ridiculous. Kilobar is saying it's about vehicular manslaughter. Famous and G continuing their fight. Lap 18, 20 meters, 30 meters, give or take. Locked back into Kiki versus Frost here. Ertzu trying to get into the mix. Has not been able to do so far. And 100 meters behind Ertzu is Laggy Rock. Okay. I don't know, y'all. I think we stay locked in here for now. Oops. That's a good one. Okay, a glimpse into the fight between Kiki and Frost. Oh, Kiki trying to take it too far, and Frost going on the inside actually, which we saw him go on the outside a lot there. But that's two positions in a blink of an eye for Kiki to lose. Nick might not have had the best landing either there, as Power approaches him from behind. Famous! Oh, it looked like he wrecked on the railing. He's quite close to G, and I think we've got another extended battle to watch. This has been trouble brewing for a very long time now. A very, very, very long time. A good number of laps, and these laps are very long. I think you're right, Kippy. Sting is a bit far here with only about 6 laps left to go. Okay, and we will do a quick flip through the field. Oh, G-Force taking it very aggressively, going for a wall bump on the out there at the end of that sequence. And too far on the inside at the stairwell. Maybe he got thrown off guard a little bit there. Is going to be floundering just a little bit. So Powerade 60 meters behind Nick at this point. Frost has done good work into coming from 11th. Kiki has been all over the place, but once again so close to Frost after a big wreck. So I can only assume that Frost and Ertzu have both wrecked and has created this new situation. A good jinx can always come in handy. Lampert and Laggy Rock for 9th, 10th. All right, y'all. I know that we've got a lot of laps left to go, but I am going to have to call it here. I think there's no way that Fam loses this, and there's no way that we have a new winner of the RVC and G-Force. It's just not going to happen. It's not possible. So let's go ahead and flip the camera away. Nick, Power, and Kiki. Erzu and Frost. Wow, this midfield battle is really heightened here. 5 of them locked in. Lampert and Laggy Rock locked in as well. And let's watch the race continue. Headed to lap 21. The seed has been planted. G-Force is looking mighty fast. He really is. The Pebless coming out. Candy Pebless. Sting continuing to fall further out of this between the duel of Famous and G-Force. Oh, G on the inside. It looked like Famous was too far on the outside. It was actually G too far on the inside. Now, he does do some acrobatics. He's got his agility and dexterity up. So he is going to manage to do a full tumble. Continue on. Lap 22 for them. G-Force, another moment of insecurity in this race for him against Famous. Nick, Powerade, Kiki. And now Frost. Frost is back in 8th. Oh no. Frost having more troubles. Kiki having troubles. Oh, no, no. Who to even watch? We've got Powerade can see Nick. Oh man, a lot of battles going on simultaneously here in the last couple of laps. The school's out too. G-Force keeping it so competitive with Famous. And despite all the action happening midfield, it's really, really difficult to do anything but stay tuned in on this. I guess this is a good section. We can get a quick update. It still is Nick, Powerade, Kiki, Erzu. Oh, G-Force on the quarter pipe. Is that all that Famous needed here on lap 22 or 25? It's going to be 50 meters now that G-Force is behind Famous, maybe up to 60, and that could be it as far as the duel for first, second goes. Flipping on, it looks like a lot of the other battles have dissipated as well. Frost taking up the rear of the midfield, trying to challenge Erzu, but he doesn't have too many other positions that he can nab at this spot. I love this track, by the way. The musical one. Okay, so flipping back towards the front, we've got Famous and G-Force still, obviously, but as we can tell by the distance between them, it's going to be a tricky situation for G-Force to navigate. It's really going to be up to Famous to make a misstep at this point. Now, what do we stay locked in on at this point? Maybe Kiki Powerade for 5th, 6th. That's a pretty close one. That's probably what we'll do. G-Force still close to Famous. We'll be sure to tune in for the last lap at least. So I think we'll stay. We'll check out Powerade and Kiki, see how they're doing for a minute. Powerade having some trouble with the boxes, maybe almost. Kiki is closing that gap quite rapidly. Okay, so the front of the field probably starting on lap 24. We'll watch Power and Kiki finish out this lap. Smooth driving on both ends, but you gotta admit it looks like Kiki is gaining some time, especially on that upslope turn, looking smooth. Flipping back towards the front, G-Force and Famous. Still gonna be about 50-60 meters between the two of them. So we are checking out Powerade and Kiki still. Powerade on the inside, Kiki on the outside, but with the speed, he jumps right over Powerade's head, finds the overtake. Headed into the freezer section. We'll see if he's able to hold on to it. He's not. Powerade retaking. Into the sewers they go. Okay, we've got a lapse, a lull. 50 meters continues to be the gap. Okay, let's check back in on them. They've started lap 25. This is a really tricky situation for Powerade to be in. Oh, Kiki on the inside of that sequence. One more, and he's over. He did hit Powerade's fender momentarily, but Kiki finding the overtake, and let's flip back over. Watching from Famous's perspective as he heads through that packing area into the sewers. Taking his final lap. Will it be a victory lap? Certainly wouldn't be a surprise. Famous been such a strong force here at the RVEC. We can see how much of a gap he's got as he heads through these quarter pipes. Okay, back to Kiki and Powerade. It is neck and neck between the two of them. Okay. Once they go for the big ramp, then we'll flip back to the front two. Kiki having a moment of instability in the pipeline. They're headed over the quarter pipes. Air 2's nearby. Powerade overshoots. He backs up, choosing not to repo there. And it is going to be Famous locking down first place. Congratulations to Famous. Nick caught in the chairs. He's too far ahead of Kiki, though. It's not going to matter. Powerade holding on to sixth. Frost in eighth was not able to make anything happen. Nobody getting lapped, not quite a surprise. And everybody finishing up their race. Not much to say. That was a bit of a cast of curse again. I know we talk about it a lot here, but damn. Okay, Ertzu. No major incidents going to cause Frost to pass him. And this is going to be a clear-cut finish. And I've got to be honest, y'all. This has been the fastest day of RVC for me so far. It's cool to see that the hype is only building as far as I go as a caster, what I'm feeling as a caster. So that's good. Obviously, good. Sorry, I had her voice in my ears. But anyways, that is going to be the win for Famous. Second place, G-Force. Third place, Sting. Nick in fourth. We had Kiki fifth. Powerade 6. Kiki barely winning out over Powerade there on the final lap, able to make it happen. Check best laps indeed. Smart to do. I knew we were forgetting something. And we've got our straw poll as well. Hold on, let me get that done first. I think everyone is on the list. Oops. Okay, poll is ready. Go ahead and vote in it. Let me know if there's any issues with it, anybody that I forgot. Now checking out the best laps. In first place, it is Famous. These are the overall first place, of course. 45.543 for Famous. 45.261 G-Force. 45.3 Sting. 45.13 Nick. 132. 45.404 Kiki. 46. 45.8, 45.5, 45.2. So yeah, it is Nick first, I think, G second, and Sting third. Might be. Okay. GG's. Keep in mind, we got the RVRL as well. And I'm going to, another note, the website. I'm going to be posting the RVEC website in the discussion in the Revolt competitive chat. So if you want to look back on any of the races, etc., it's a cool website. Get some information if you're into that kind of thing. And RVRL. Wednesday, Division 3, 18 UTC. Division 2 on Friday, 19 UTC. Division 1, Saturday, 19 UTC. Back with the RVEC on SV2. What is SV2 again? Spavel 2. Excellent. And then we've got Helios and Jailhouse Rock to finish us out. So stay tuned, keep watching, keep cheering, and we had our winner was Famous. So I will be giving the channel points before we close out our stream. So thank you again for stopping by. I'll go ahead and reward our winners. Okay, GG's all around. The new emote going to be coming in as well. Shout out to Kiki, thank you for the, or Kippy, sorry. Shout out to Kippy, thank you for that. And we will see y'all. Congratulations on the 5.4 thousand points as well. All right, we'll see you next time.